y'all can just hold steady for just a little bit, we'll get started. Thank you all. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I now call the Education Assessment, Accountability, and Review Subcommittee to order on this July 6, 2021 at 3 o'clock p.m. on this Tuesday. At this time, we ask the clerk call the roll, please. If you are present, please say that you are present in the room. If you are remote, please tell us that you are remote as she calls the roll.
Senator Carr, Senator Neal, Senator Wilson,
Here in the room.
Representative Bojanowski,
I'm here in the room.
Representative Huff, Representative Riley,
Here in the room.
Senator Wise,
Present remotely.
Co-Chair Reed.
Here. We do have a quorum. Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I will remind all those participating, please silence your cell phones. Also, all materials have been sent electronically via email, and you should also be available on the committee LRC website. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
It has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. All right, minutes are passed. All right, right now we're going to skip a little item in the agenda for the election of the Senate co-chair. We still have a few members coming in. We might need a few more for that procedure, but we are going to go to the review of the administration regulations. Regulation 703 KAR 5270 is proposed. Today's agenda includes that discussion. This regulation has a staff suggestion amendment for consideration. And we have today Ashley Bland with the KDE, Ashley Land, I'm sorry, of the KDE, Assistant General Counsel.
Good afternoon, Representative Reed. Thank you for having us this afternoon. I'm also joined on the call by our Associate Commissioner, Rhonda Sims of the Assessment Office of Assessment and Accountability. If Rhonda wants to speak to that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
We're pleased to be with you today. We bring forth 270. The regulation has gone through its proposed process for amendment to align it to Senate Bill 158 that passed in the 2020 Kentucky General Assembly. And so we have, I think, all the materials provided. I will pause to see if you have specific questions of us.
Representative Bojanowski.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So
Yes.
as I was looking through this, sorry, I have new glasses and I have to figure out where to put it to see.
Sure.
Under the Achieve Academic Readiness and where the schools get credit, why isn't GPA considered to be an element of academic readiness? Just a brief look at some research, the GPA is 5 times more likely to predict college success than the ACT. As a parent, or I wasn't going to be that frank, as someone who knows a young person very well, who had a very high GPA, who took a lot of AP courses but didn't test well, and then went on to successfully complete her college education at an Ivy League school, something's missing if she would not be captured in college readiness.
I think that's an excellent question, Representative Bojanowski. That what you find in the regulation, though, is, again, aligning the regulation to Senate Bill 158. I do know that Council on Post-Secondary Readiness obviously uses GPA for a number of their programs, but that was not one of the things that came through any of the early work with the committees. And then again, we're aligning to the statutory language. So it does not exist in the statutory language.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions by any other members? Any questions by those attending remotely?
I do have one more question if no one else has one.
You feel free. Yes, ma'am. Representative Bojanowski, if you can turn your microphone on.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I don't know the page number, but it has a number 9, and it talks about the standard setting process shall be conducted involving Kentucky educators. Is that setting cut scores for assessments, or is that something different?
The standard setting process that's referred to in the regulation is setting the cuts for those 5 levels of performance for the school. Now, we do use a standard setting process that involves educators that is setting cuts for the assessments. As assessments become new in the system, we do bring together teachers both in the development of the assessment as well as in setting the standards for a student. An individual student, remember, has those 4 levels of distinguished, proficient, apprentice, and novice. But in this particular regulation, because it's around the accountability system and meeting those federal requirements for identifying schools for supports, the standard setting is about setting the standard for the various levels. And remember, Senate Bill 158 brings in a colored dashboard system so that schools are identified by colors instead of by any sort of label. And the Kentucky board made the recommendation that it be color as well as part of this regulation process. So the standard setting in this instance, Representative Bojanowski, in this instant is around the accountability system, but we do also use standard setting processes for assessments as well.
And may I ask a brief follow-up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, have to
well,
ask the
me.
chair.
I'm sorry. Sure.
So does this force, I mean, is it essentially a bell curve? Does it force a set of districts or schools to be in the lower range? Or if all schools were to rise, could we possibly not have a school in the lower range?
It doesn't force a bell curve. One thing to keep in mind is federally, we must identify a certain percentage of schools for supports. So the federal law would require that a certain number of schools be identified for support. But there isn't any force to place schools inside of a bell curve.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the suggested amendment. There's a motion by Representative Riley. Is there a second? Is there a second by Representative Bojanowski? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, without objection, is so ordered. Okay, we're going to stand at ease for about 5 minutes. Thank you all for attending today from the Kentucky Department of Education. We appreciate your service to the Commonwealth of Kentucky and for being with us today. We're just going to stand at ease for about 5 minutes and wait for a few people, and then we'll continue. But thank you all.
Mr. Chairman, while
Thank
we're
you.
at ease, I'd like to make an introduction.
Absolutely, by all means.
I brought my bodyguard with me today here, Kevin Riley. He's back in the back, and I sure have appreciated his keeping me safe today. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Kevin Riley, we thank you for being here today and for being Mr. Riley's bodyguard, Representative Riley's bodyguard. We know he needs it above all people here at the Capitol. So, thank you. Okay, thank you folks for waiting just a few minutes with us. We're going to postpone the election of the Senate co-chair to the next meeting. The next meeting will be, you will be notified of that meeting. There's a possibility that we will have one next month, so you'll be notified of that meeting. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
So moved. We are adjourned. Thank you all.